Hey, Eric Pratt from US Broadcast Distribution here. Today we are talking about Z CAM's PTZ cameras. They are the most fully featured PTZ cameras that we have ever tested, under $10,000. And part of that is because it was designed from the ground up to be a cinema camera. Most PTZ cameras have either a broadcast or security heritage to them. And the neat thing is that the Z CAM's PTZ camera was designed from the sensor and the lens and the control software all from the ground up to be a cinematic camera. So it gives you a completely different look than regular PTZ cameras. Not only that, it is the most fully featured PTZ camera we have ever experienced. So it literally has every feature that you could ever want in a PTZ camera, and we're going to have quite an in-depth look at all of the different things that it has shoehorned into this wonderful little solution here. So here we have in the back of this thing, we've got a USB-C for hooking directly up to your computer's UVC device. It is the best webcam you'll ever own. HDMI port next to that, and then we have genlock for doing virtual production, or if you're using a system that has genlock, still very valuable connection to reduce your latency just a tiny bit. Next to that is 3G SDI, and then we have our LAN PoE port. This is where our power, control, NDI, and SRT are coming from, or going to. And then we have a 12-volt connector for powering via not PoE. Above that is an SD card port. And then over here we have our VISCA in and VISCA out and a little ground. Up here is also a tally light on the back, so somebody who's behind the camera also knows that it's live. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the product features for the Z CAM's PTZ camera. I'm going to use their product website, which you can check out for yourself, simply because there's some excellent graphics and content for referencing how much better, for example, the sensor is. You can see the 18x sensor is a 1/1.3 inch, which means it's a little less than an inch. But you can see a comparison for normal PTZ cameras is going to be about a quarter of the size. So this sensor is about 400% larger than your average PTZ camera. And what that means is that in low light scenarios, this is going to perform considerably better. So think your houses of worship, your event videography, anywhere where you're not going to have perfect and adequate lighting, this is really going to excel. We also have phase detection autofocus. There's many different kinds of configuration methods for determining where it should be focusing. Stunning image quality up to 4K P60. 18 versus 24x optical zoom. You'll see that a lot of PTZ cameras have a 20 or 30x rating for their zoom. In this case, because this is a 4K camera, when it's operating in 1080, it has an additional 4x of zoom, which makes it's very smoothly integrated. That means that the 18x is actually multiplied by 4 for a 72x. And believe me, we've checked it out. It actually has this really smooth, and you can get in on extremely close, more close up than you would thought you'd ever want to be on an image. A lot of zoom there. NDI HX3, very easy to connect into your IP workflows. Plenty in the way of AI auto framing and tracking, multi-target tracking zone, also gestures, different color matrices. The camera is very smooth to operate, a wide variety of methods of controlling it. As I said, gesture control for controlling how the camera moves. If you want it to frame your upper body, your face, your close-up, the whole view. It's got intelligent framing. IP streaming, as I mentioned, NDI. RTMP allows you to connect it directly to platforms like YouTube. SRT, of course, is perfect for REMI. If you want to just send out a box full of these cameras pre-configured when you plug them in to start streaming via SRT back to your production facility with all of the proper port forwarding, these are just going to show up in your copy of vMix. So you just ship these things around the country, power them on, and they just magically start appearing in your production. Life is great. 3D. 3D is for... Come on. 3D is for AR, VR production. You feed the camera's positional data into something like Aximetry, and it knows where it is and how it's moving. Very nice. We'll take a close look at the back of the camera in a second, but yes, there are a lot of different kinds of connections. There's a tally light on the front to let the talent know they're live. An incredible web client we'll have to go through on its own. We don't really need to go through what's in the box. And of course, there's many more features that we didn't cover here, but those are some good highlights to give you an idea, at least to start thinking about how awesome this camera is. Z-CAM's web UI is profoundly complete. You'll notice an instant distinction between it and other PTZ camera web UIs. If you've used them, it is incredibly well organized and complete in all of its functions. Here we just have simple PTZ control, zoom, the speed of response at which you're controlling the zoom, the speed of response at which you're controlling the pan and tilt, project settings, exposure, white balance, focus, image, auto framing configurations, which are again exhaustive. You can enable them in order to check out the whole body or just a face, home positions, reset positions. Under settings, you'll see, again, a very comprehensive list of recording capacity, video control interface, audio. I forgot to mention there's a mic on it, exposure settings, zoom and focus, pan and tilt. Again, this all comes from a cinema background as opposed to a regular PTZ camera background, a broadcast or security interface, auto framing setup, whether that's on by default on startup, streaming settings to configure RTMP, as well assist tools, time code, whether it's non-drop frame or drop frame, whether to display it or not. There's a multi-camera setting where we can have the camera be itself or as the primary or subordinate camera. That comes from another one of their products. Network settings, pretty straightforward. Security, I'm not even really sure the depth of this, but it's there. The system settings, how the whole system is set up, what format, whether the on-screen display is on, whether we're using genlock, etc. Maintenance, and then there's an iris interface that you can use. This is a cloud control interface, which you can use in order to link this device to the cloud control for the Iris platform. So that is the web UI for the Z1 camera. I mean, just going through it very quickly, there's quite a bit more that we didn't go into. RTSP, SRT settings, multicast network. You know, there's an exhaustive, we could spend all day in here, but I want to save you the time. You should really just check the camera out in person at a trade show or at your local reseller. And that, my friends, is Z CAM's PTZ cameras in a nutshell. If you have any questions about them, please don't hesitate to reach out to us here at US Broadcast or your favorite retailers for places to purchase. You can check out usbroadcast.co's reseller page, or you can look us up on social media or, of course, YouTube if you're watching this video here. So if you have any further questions, give us a call. Thanks.